Hello everyone, I'm Marina and it's Sakramel School. Now you will see the nails that are only 10 days old and they were done in the salon. We will need to fix them, so it will be exciting. Let's get into it. Here are the nails, and there are cuts almost on every nail, considering that the nails are only 10 days old. At first, it was painful for my model to even wash her hands, so we had to wait for the cuts to heal a little. So we can do something about it now. First things first, check your client's skin and cuticle. Here we can see a red area. So the capillaries are close. In this case, you need to be extremely careful. It's better not to cut enough than cut too much. To be honest, I'm not sure about the result, but my task is to help my model and make her hands beautiful. I remove the coating up to the natural nail using a green carbide drill bit. My model got lucky that there was no allergic reaction, since the material is so close to the cuts. Of course, the layer of the base coat is too thick. We don't need that much for this length. There are liftings near the cuticle since they were floods. And I presume that the tech used lots of special liquid to stop bleeding. If you cut the skin, apply just a small amount of it with a cotton swab or a micro brush. Be extremely careful, so as not to cut the skin even more. Moving on to the manicure, I'm using a safe drill bit to lift up the cuticle. It's perfect for this, since it doesn't have any abrasive, so it won't cut the skin. It's also great for such a spreading cuticle and close capillaries as my models. The speed is 20,000 RPM. Forward position, I'm processing the left sides. I carefully get to the cuticle, separating the skin from the nail plate. I switch the rotation direction to reverse and process the right sides. My model told me that this manicure cost her $10, so I presume that it was a beginning nail tech. But my model thought that she was a professional one. Of course, my task today is not doing a perfect manicure, but just helping out and transforming the nails a little. I don't try to clean it all up with a safe drill bit, since we will process the lateral folds and the sinuses with a flame one. It doesn't hurt my model in any way. So that's why I decided not to push the cuticle with an orange stick or a pusher first. These long white lines are also cuts. When the drill bit gets stuck and digs into the nail plate, it causes this. Of course, the tech saw that she cut the skin. She tried to stop bleeding, and the only recommendation to my model was to get home and wash her hands, since all the cuts would heal soon. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. As soon as you can see the cut, disinfect it. Now I need to buff the surface to even out the cuticle zone. Remove some pterygium and make my further processing easier. I fix the shape now using a soft 180-240 grit nail file. I'm shaping a squawal. Now I need to clean out the sides using a flame drill bit. This one is 0.23 in diameter, since the nail plate is pretty flat. I process the sinuses and the lateral folds. While processing, I watch my model's reaction. If she says ouch, I should stop then. Here on the index finger, there is a deep cut, so I don't press too much, so as not to cut even more. The speed is 15 to 17,000 RPM. Done with the left sides, now switch to reverse and process the right ones. I also get under the cuticle, separating the skin. On the ring finger, that was the deepest cut, so it got inflamed. And it is still a bit painful for my model. She did not process the skin, since she didn't know what to use. You can apply levomicol on such areas, since it disinfects and heals the skin. Once I polish the skin here, I can see that there is a little wound. And when I push, there is an abscess. So I carefully push it out and process the wound with chlorhexidine. Even professional nail techs make cuts. And such inflammation may not be the tech's fault. For example, there already was a tiny wound and it got inflamed. I have already processed most of the cuticle with a flame drill bit, and now I remove the rest with a sphere one, 0.31 in diameter. I have chosen the red one because it is more gentle to my model's skin, which is wet. The areas with cuts got dry and rough, so they get polished very well with the bit. The speed is about 5 to 7,000 RPM. If the skin is wet, you can use some talcum powder to dry it a little. But not in this case, since there are cuts, and it may cause an allergic reaction. I want to point out why I have chosen an e-file manicure instead of a classic cutting with scissors or nippers. There are too many hangnails, so it is way more effective to polish them with a sphere drill bit, so they won't appear again. Besides, the skin gets polished gradually, and there are no rapid moves, as we do with cutting tools. So this manicure type suits the best here. I grab the finger and put it to the side, and barely touching it, I remove the skin particles. Moving from right to left, and I can also move from left to right to polish something. So make sure to listen to your clients and not overfile. Removing the cuticle on the ring finger, I barely breathe so as not to cut. There is still a piece that won't come off, so there is no point to file it. I just take nippers and cut it off. I degrease the nail plate, remove the dust, and apply adhesive products, since I want to transform the hands and even out the surface. I don't get on the wound so that it doesn't burn. Apply a dehydrator since the hands are wet. I apply an acid-free primer with a squeezed-out brush. I will apply the coating taking a step back from the wound to prevent irritation. I'm using a non-acidic base coat, applying a thin layer, and I will align the surface with a camouflage base coat. As I've said, I take a step back from the cut. My models need to watch this nail's condition so that it doesn't get inflamed even more. Here we can see a huge cut on the thumb, so I have decided to align the surface a little. Now send to cure for 30 seconds. I apply a thin layer of the camouflage base coat over the entire nail plate. I have chosen this dense shade to conceal all the flaws. I put a drop near the cuticle and pull it down. The drop is in the central part. Then I spread it to the sides with a thin brush. Work fast so that it does not leak to the sides. Otherwise, the nails will get too thick. You can add more gel if needed. I turn the hand over to align the coating and create a perfect arch. I take a step back from the wound. Actually, we could have left this nail without a coating until it fully heals. I add a bit more gel. That is why I have chosen this camouflage shade to conceal the bold part. I don't apply too much base coat, so it's pretty hard to even out. It's medium in thickness. Now I apply a glossy top coat, so the nails look clean and polished. Cured the top coat. Now I touch up the shape. To finish up, I polish the cuticle with oil using a silicone carbide drill bit. I dip it into oil. You can also apply it on the skin. And now start polishing. Moving up and down so that all the tiny hangnails got sealed. Here's the transformation. I wasn't sure about the result first, but I think it turned out great. So give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I wish you all clean and cut-free manicures. Success in your work. Bye bye.